Good afternoon. Today we are going to talk about the different financial aids for the startups in India. Already we have seen that after the ideation stage, in the ideation validation stage, basically we are having the two subsequent steps to follow. First one is the incubation stage, is where the incubators can provide the startups a support. If not, if not through the incubation mode, a startup can also gain the fund. And for that, the startup needs to fetch the loan from the different agencies. Now, primarily, obviously, they can get the loan from different private agencies as well. But normally, the banks will not provide the loan at the validation stage. The loans will be provided to the entrepreneurs when the product development phase has actually been completed. So at the validation stage, which is a transition phase between the ideation and the final product development, at that point of time, if the entrepreneurs need the fund, obviously the startups will need the fund. At that point of time, the fund will be provided by the different schemes, funding schemes of the government. And in our country, we are having many such schemes available. So today we will see that what are those schemes. Here we are continuing with this discussion. So these are the different loan schemes for startups in India. The first one, which is very popularly known, Mudra Loan Scheme. Second one is the Credit Guarantee Scheme, Bank Credit Facilitation Scheme, then Stand Up India Scheme, Market Development Assistance Schemes for MSMEs, National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development or NABARD, Choir Udyami Yojana, and SIDBI. SIDBI is also a very significant banking institution, Small Industries Development Bank of India. They're also providing the loans for the startups. So all these are the government schemes which are actually supplying the startups with the fund. So let us start with one by one. We will see. First of all, Mudra Loan Scheme. Mudra is basically an abbreviation. It's a Microunits Development and Refinance Agency Limited. It aims to provide the startup business loans in India, as we have already discussed. Now, there are the different slabs for Mudra loans. The first one is known as Shishu. The first stage is known as Shishu, where the loan amount will be given to an entrepreneur up to 50,000, and obviously there will be no collateral requirements. The entrepreneur need not to put any collateral mortgaged to this particular institution. Now, Mudra loan is basically a scheme, but these are disbursed through the different banks of India. So the rate of interest that the bank charges is basically 1% per month, and the loan is repayable over 5 years. So 5 years tenure will be there. 50,000 rupees will be given, and the rate of interest will be 1% per month. So this is the loan scheme disbursed through the banks and known as the Mudra loan scheme. And this is the initial phase known as Shishu scheme. Next one is the Kishore, where the loan amount obviously upgrades to 5 lakhs. 50,000 is the lower benchmark to 5 lakhs. And the third stage of the loan is basically definitely going above 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. So this is the range for the third phase of the loan. And definitely, as I have mentioned already, this particular loan scheme does not demand any collateral from the entrepreneur. So obviously, Mudra is a loan scheme by Government of India, but these are disbursed through the different banks. Next one, Credit Guarantee Scheme, essential form of startup loans in India. The CGS actually, it also provides a collateral-free loans of the credits. The amount of loan, the maximum loan can be fetched by an entrepreneur is 100 lakhs. And the Government of India has partnered with SIDBI, the Small Industries Development Bank of India, for that loan. SIDBI provides this loan, and it provides the unsecured loan in the form of working capital loan. Basically, the loan is given as a working capital loan, and most importantly, this loan is collateral-free or the unsecured loan. Next loan scheme is the Stand Up India scheme, where the loan is being provided from 10 lakhs to 1 crore, and It can be provided to the different uh, the segments of the society. These are provided to the women entrepreneurs as well to strengthen the women entrepreneurship in our country. And the same can be provided to the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes as well. The tenure of the loan is of 7 years, the higher tenure it has got. Now, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, it is a very, very well-known institution in our country. We know NABARD. It's a developmental bank that actually offers to the promotion of the agriculture, small industry, agriculture-based small industries, the rural industries, different cottage industries using the rural agricultural products. So, and definitely the cottage and village industries, the handicrafts, all these this type of businesses can avail the loan from NABARD. So NABARD is actually playing a vital role to enhance the rural entrepreneurship in our country. And definitely through this particular assistance given by obtained by the NABARD, the rural entrepreneurship in our country has really seen a remarkable growth. Next one, Koya Udhyami Yojana. This is the Koya basically, as we have already talked about when we actually discussed about the MSME and the ARI. So that time we talked about the different segments of ARI, and one of them was Khadi and Village Industries Corporation, and second one was the Choir Board. So this is a particular scheme which is meant for the ventures which are actually using the choirs. So actually Choir Board heads this particular scheme, and it's named as the Koya Udhyami Yojana. So the loans are given up to 10 lakhs, and that will be given for the working capital as well. The total funds should not exceed 20% of the cost of the project. So the working capital, what the entrepreneur is actually claiming, basically that claim should not exceed the total cost of the project or rather I would say that the total fund that will be disbursed by this Koya Udhyami Yojana should not exceed 25% of the total cost of the project, but that will be provided as a working capital. And the tenure of this particular scheme is 7 years. SIDBI. SIDBI is basically it is known as SIDBI Make in India Soft Loan Fund for MSMEs. So the MSMEs, the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, can avail these loans from this SIDBI, which is the Small Industries Development Bank of India, and they will provide the loan, and the maximum of 10 lakhs, that's the upper cap for this particular loan. 10 lakhs will be provided for the scheduled tribes and the scheduled castes, so the loan amount should not exceed the total, the loan amount should be 10% of the total project cost. Okay, and the loan amount will be 15,000 in case of the scheduled tribes and scheduled castes, 15% of the entire project cost, and can have a maximum limit of 30 lakhs. So that is for the general category people, it will be 10% of the total project cost, and the maximum cap will be 10 lakhs, whereas in case of the reserved category people, it will be 15% of the total project cost with the upper capping at 30 lakhs. And the most importantly, there is a significant feature for availing the loan from SIDBI is that the person, the applicant, the entrepreneur, whoever is actually has applied for the loan should have not less than 51% stake in the enterprise. So these are the different loan schemes that are being provided by the government of India to enhance or to strengthen the entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial drives in our country. So these particular loan schemes will provide the assistance in the validation stage for the startups. When the startup is grown, when it has already developed the project, already developed the product itself, so that point of time, the bank will provide the loan. At that point of time, the NBFCs can provide the loan. There can be the angel investment. There can be the venture capitalists. All will be there. But at the validation stage, As you can understand, funding a startup at the validation stage is risky for all. So normally the financial institutions, either banking or non-banking, they try to refrain from providing the assistance to the startups. So these are the loan schemes that will actually fill the gap. This will actually bridge the gap, and this will provide the necessary support to the entrepreneurs other than the incubators. If a entrepreneur has taken the shelter of the incubator or taken the umbrella of an incubator to stay under, then it's a different story. But if not, then these are the loan schemes that will be helping an entrepreneur to at least launch his venture at the validation stage. So that's why we can say that these particular loan schemes are of huge importance, and actually it's mobilizing the entire effort of entrepreneurship in our country. So till this point of time, thank you very much. We shall continue with our discussion, the public and private support system for the entrepreneurs in India. We shall continue with our discussion. Till that point of time, thank you again. Stay indoor and stay safe.